Hello everyone, it's me Doomlink and welcome back to Generations Ultimate. I just realised as I went live that there was one thing that I had forgotten to do, and that was changing the title of the livestream. Fortunately I'm playing the same game as yesterday, so I don't actually need to update the game that is being played in the Twitch information, but I would like to update the title. So, it probably will end up being Hunting with Purpose. I said that the protocol that I'll be following now in terms of introducing these live streams is essentially to just say, welcome back to the game in question. Because sometimes the series will be determined after the fact, but let me just see. So, Hunting with Purpose, the last part for that was 25. So that makes this 26. Thank you, Doomlink, for giving us a window into the inner workings of your mind. Hunting with Purpose 26. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Online. I include the online, interestingly enough. I probably will end up including it for the Joke Weapon Roulette series as well. For some reason I didn't include online in brackets there. The reason why I didn't do it is so that people know to expect online hunts as opposed to solo hunts. Because, you know, plenty of people do play solo. So, you know, I'd like to be specific about it being an online experience for me and for them as a viewer. Because I find that it is a different sort of content than solo Monster Hunter. And I find it more entertaining. There are more variables at play when you've got other people and how they hunt and the different people that you run into. It's more entertaining for me, hopefully more entertaining for the viewers, so I like to outline it in the title of the video as such. Hello Autonomic, I'm just going to get my playback sorted out, and as far as whether or not you should make a room, I'm going to suggest not, for the reason that I think if I were to make a room it would attract more people, so we'll do that. We'll likely have Juvenator helping. Oh yeah, the reason why this is Hunting with Purpose in the first place is because it turns out that Autonomic does have things to do in the game. I didn't even know Autonomic had the game until somewhat recently, so it turns out that yes, we will be continuing in this game with Hunting with Purpose, which I was absolutely not expecting, but we will be doing that, and yeah, it seems that we will probably have help from Juvenator. I don't know. Vernon is currently asleep or something. I don't know where he is, but he hasn't said a word. And, yeah. We'll get that organised either way. I ideally wanted to have 3 people, including myself, to hunt, just for the sake of efficiency, but I think we will be able to manage that, no matter what. I've got my PC keyboard on my lap. It doesn't need to be there. Okay. Now, what are we going to call this room? I don't really want to call it Hunter Rank 9. Shut up. There's the sound of my phone going, woohoo, shut up. But, yeah, I don't really want to call the room HR9, because if I do, it's going to attract a bunch of HR9s in there, thinking that they can do their own quests. Of course, the focus of this room, and of this recording, is going to be to help Autonomic specifically, so I don't really want to give people the idea, or the impression, that they are going to be helped. So maybe I should just say something like, helping friend. Maybe that would work. But, yeah, that could be in order. Just received a text from someone who meant to send it to someone else. The weirdest thing I ever received recently, as a text that was for someone else, was about, invoices regarding joinery. Which was interesting, but, yeah, like actual full-on inquiries regarding invoices for joinery, but, anyway. Helping mate, well, I probably wouldn't say that. We'll just say helping friend. I'm not one to engage in the modern vernacular of the Australian people. Helper? What? Helping friend. Okay, there we go. Helping friend. That will do. And that will be enough to attract people who just want to do anything. You know, it always serves as I guess, a point of encouragement to see a higher ranked person, because it means the hunts will probably go smoothly. So if they just want to hunt anything, and they see me hosting the room, they'll be like, oh, okay, I'll join this, seems like fun. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping for. So, objective and quest type will be any, and no HR minimum, for the reason that the person joining will be of the ultimate minimum HR of G rank, so. Hello, Mayan79. I regret to say that whoa, hair is not looking great. But yes, I regret to say that I don't remember you, but what was that? Server maintenance when? Attention all hunters, we will be conducting server maintenance today. Hopefully that doesn't affect the recording. Mr. QQ has joined the hub with a cat. Well, hello. I wasn't expecting to catch someone so quickly. And there's Autonomic. I think Mr. QQ now knows who I'm helping. But I wasn't necessarily expecting to find so quickly a person of this hunter rank, but there you go, plenty of them around apparently. I don't know what the triangles in the cat's name are supposed to represent, or why they're even there. But anyway, welcome back, Mayan. Either way, hello Hossein, and hello Arexion. Hope we're all doing well today. Oh, you can see that I'm still using my joke weapon roulette stuff, so I'll probably change. I won't be using the roulette today, and by the roulette, I'm of course not referring to the joke weapon roulette, I'm referring to the roulette that would decide what weapon type I would use at random for whatever quest that we'll be doing. I just feel like I'd rather choose the weapon today. And that's a silver ticket, and what do you want now? VE ticket. So they're sent automatically to the item box. I actually found myself going to the item box automatically to put them away, because I'm kind of used to how it is in 3 Ultimate these days, but it's always nice to have it done for you. And there's Vernon coming online now. So, he is around. Juvenator is going to have to make himself known if he is online and wanting to play, because that would mean that Bakaneko would have to be removed. Or Mr. QQ. What are you doing? You wouldn't even for a moment be entertaining the thought of posting your own quest now, would you? No, no. You couldn't possibly be doing that. Although, no, it's possible, because I think the guy... No, never mind. I was going to say, I think he's Chinese and can't speak English, but he's got no... He's got no Chinese written in his name, so he must be able to speak English. Mr. QQ left the hub. Oh, well, I'm so sorry. But, yeah. If that guy is already leaving, then it's for the best, because this is not going to be a fast-paced room. We need to establish what needs to be done at whatever time. So you need more Cyanotor cortexes, and after that you need to mine ore at the volcano maps. Okay. So I suppose we'll start with G-rank Cyanotor. And it works in the end because if Juvenator's around, then that Mr. QQ guy was going to be removed anyway. And if you're wondering why I assumed that he was Chinese, and this might be quite absurd what I'm about to say, if you're familiar with QQ, that's a Chinese app. And given that he was called Mr. QQ, I decided that he was probably Chinese. Now, that's probably very stupid, but... I don't know. I just had a feeling that he might have been Chinese, and there wouldn't be... It wouldn't be totally unusual, given how many Chinese people are playing here, so there you go. I will use Greatsword, but it won't be raw Greatsword. Welcome to the room, Vernon. Hello, Shinobu Sensei. Welcome. Oh, go away. Try pinning wizard. No, I will not try pinning wizard, Windows 10. I will not do that. I regret to say that I can't speak Japanese, Shinobu, so I can't really communicate. I think, oh I see. I think Shinobu's asking if there are only 3 of us and if they can play. I think we will have a 4th joining soon. I'll be saying, do I play on Generation 3? Yeah, I do. I do play on Generation 3. Good thing Jenny's here, huh? I knew that it was something to do with playing, but I assumed that the number 3 was referring to the number of people in the room rather than Generation 3. So there you go. And thank you, Mayan, for the compliment. But yeah, I do play a lot of Generation 3. And Jenny, not that you need to take on this role, but you can always communicate with Shinobu on my behalf if you would like to, in Japanese. Because I cannot do so myself. But yeah, let them know, if you want to, that I do play a lot of Generation 3, and that I played a lot of Tri, and that I frequently record 3 Ultimate. Konnichiwa, Shinobu. Okay, so we are indeed going to do Senator. Sorry for being so distracted by seemingly everything. We might do Hyper Senator Autonomic, even though, well, should we do Hyper Senator in lieu of the fact that your defense is atrocious? Probably not. How about we just do, if you just need Cortexes, and keeping in mind we have done G-Rank Senator before, maybe we'll just do regular Shogun. Because you've probably got at least some Hyper Cortexes. Unless it's Hyper Cortexes that you need. But you did just say Cortexes, so I'm assuming that's not what you need at this time. I forgot to switch to English. Jenny's typing you a sentence in Japanese as we speak, and you can speak English, my god. But that's alright. I personally can't really communicate with you in Japanese, so English helps. I can read some Japanese, just no, well, I can read all hiragana and kanji. Excuse me, hiragana and katakana, but no kanji, so that trips me up quite frequently. So, how long have I been playing Monster Hunter? Since Freedom Unite released, actually. I wanted to start playing Monster Hunter in 2007, but didn't get around to it. It wasn't until, well, I suppose it was in 2008 when I discovered Monster Hunter. And it wasn't until the release of Freedom Unite in English in 2009 that I actually played my first Monster Hunter game, which was Freedom Unite. And that was a pretty good experience. I enjoyed that. We'll just depart with 3. I don't know where Juvenator is. He's usually around. He's probably playing right now. He's probably in a quest. He plays a lot of this game. He plays every day, according to him. Oh, Mr. QQ is back. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. QQ, but Mr. Impatient over here is going to have to realize that if he doesn't want to wait to join a room, or to join a quest rather, then he's going to have to live with not being on the quest when we eventually depart, and you've realized that there are no other rooms to join. So, you can maybe live with your error in judgment. Uh-oh. You've been playing since the first one on PlayStation 2? That's good. I will actually be playing the Japanese Monster Hunter 1 soon. I was going to play Monster Hunter G, but I felt that playing Monster Hunter 1 first and then carrying the file over onto Monster Hunter G would be a better idea, so I will be doing that. My experience in Monster Hunter in the first generation is mostly with Monster Hunter Portable, which is Monster Hunter Freedom in English. And my plan is to, once I have built a really good character in Monster Hunter Freedom, I will actually switch over to the Japanese version, because there is less input lag for that version. Much less. For some reason, the English version of Monster Hunter Freedom has just terrible input lag, particularly when you're emulating. It's probably a little better on the PSP itself, but I have no reason to actually play on a physical PSP at this point. Not at this point. It's a much better experience on a computer, you see. Probably do Moonbreaker here. Uh-oh. I'm attacking the wrong claw because I'm reading the chat. We want to aim for the one that's probably not broken. Might be a good plan. Well, you can say a few years ago, Jenny. You've been there for over 10 years, haven't you? A few years ago doesn't sound like 10 years ago. I'd be using different terminology. Oh, jeez. That's the attack that killed me before, that I made a clip out of. It really was a ridiculous hitbox that I was killed by yesterday. I think I named the clip Cyanator Wants Some Pizza, something like that. Because I was using the Deluxe Piz axe at the time, and I was talking about how the pizza on the axe was making me want pizza. And then Cyanator went and jumped at me because he wanted some pizza too, and he got some pizza. He absolutely did. Alright. Hair adjustment over. Hunt resume. Oh. I could see that fucking Uroctor was coming after me. Bastard thing. People affectionately refer to this protrusion as the Cyanator's penis. Because it is, you know, weak. It's phallic. Well, it's a weak point. And it would be, wouldn't it? It also shoots liquid. So, yeah, the penis, basically. And yes, I do mean affectionately. People don't unaffectionately refer to it as the penis. They're like, oh, it's the penis. They're more like, oh, it's the penis. So, I would say affectionately. But come on! I'm really getting sick of this. I mean, next time I'll dive it, just to be bloody well sure. Come on. Do not bestir yourself, Cyanator, for any attempt to harm me is for naught. Of course, referring to the smaller Cyanator, who obviously is not part of this confrontation. Not even a little bit. Oh, get around the claw. It's actually stuck on the damn thing. I don't really have time to get off a Brimstone Slash. He will immediately move. I know it to be true. What would have happened there is that he would have... Actually, he might not have died in that time. That it would have taken for me to drop Brimstone Slash, because I was attacking him that whole time. Which I would not have been had I charged Brimstone Slash, so... Yeah. Maybe I would have been able to get the attack off and had that be the killing attack. Would that have technically been more cinematic than what I did this time? Instead, well, maybe, but... Too bad. What's my favourite weapon in the series, Shinobu? I would say that for Blademaster it's Greatsword, and for Gunner it would be Light Bowgun. But I love all weapon types, except, I guess... Switch Axe and Lance. And maybe Gun Lance. Switch Axe, Lance, and Gun Lance are my least favourite weapon types. I use those weapon types, but they are my least favourites. My absolute least favourite would be Switch Axe. I think Switch Axe is a bad weapon. But, yeah. I can never decide, because the Blademaster experience is so different from the Gunner experience, I don't feel comfortable saying that a Blademaster weapon type or a Gunner weapon type is my favourite weapon type, because it depends on my mood. But if we're speaking strictly for Blademaster, it would be Greatsword, and I don't know. For Gunner, I'm not quite so sure if I prefer light bowgun or heavy bowgun. Both of them are pretty comfortable for me, so. But I also love bow. Bow is good fun. And I also love sword and shield. Sword and shield would probably be my second favourite Blade Master weapon type. The greatsword and the sword and shield are on two ends of the spectrum regarding mobility, and I love the extremes. I love the fact that the sword and shield is so mobile and you can always stay on target with something that you want to stay on target with because of that mobility, and you can also evade so easily, and on top of all of that, it has shielding capabilities. I mean, it's just an amazing weapon type, I love it. The only lacking aspect to it is, I guess, lack of verticality, which they addressed in 5th generation. But, I guess if that's an issue for you, then aerial style exists in this game, but I don't do styles, I just play guild. And striker in the case of Lance, just so that I can have my traditional 4th gen combo back. Well, Monster Hunter 4 combo back, we'll say. But, yeah, oh, shit. Server maintenance will begin shortly. Please end online multiplayer. And disconnect. This is shit. Remember when I asked if it was going to affect the recording? Turns out that it is going to. That's extremely frustrating. When they say shortly, it might be enough time to get one hunt in, probably. I don't know how long their maintenance lasts for, does anyone know? Haven't seen maintenance in probably 2 years, so I can't remember how long it typically lasts for. I can always do some offline hunts in the meantime, which doesn't really fall into the goings-on of hunting with purpose, but... yeah, I want to go to the Hunter's Bar, that would be great. Dota Maria is here. Obviously not too concerned that there is server maintenance. I seem to recall in the past that there are several announcements of it beginning shortly before they tell you when it's going to happen. In other words, I think there's a pretty significant buffer between the initial announcement and the maintenance taking place, so we should have some time to do some more hunts, I'm hoping. I'm hoping. Another G Senator? Alright. That's why we're in the Hunting with Purpose series. We can do as many of the same monster that you want. Provided I don't lose my mind, which could always happen. Let's do Longsword. Actually, let's use Blunt Longsword, because I just don't feel like using Zenoga Longsword right now, I'm sorry to say. I just don't like the design. Well, what do you want, Dota Mario? Like, what exactly would satisfy you? Why do you leave and then join? Why do you do that? I don't really have much to say in in support of this community in the way in which they do things. I don't like them, actually. I don't like this community. Alright. King of Jams. So rather... Royal Condiment. Alright. Go with Defender High. Don't really think Defender High was necessary. Probably would have been nicer to go for Attack Up. Oh yeah. Oh, how many Teostras have I slayed? Hello, Broski. Broski has descended. How many Teostras have I slayed? A lot. I have probably killed a total of 150 in Freedom Unite across 2 game saves. And I've probably killed about 300 in 4 Ultimate, something like that. No, maybe 200 in 4 Ultimate. And then in this game, no. In this game, I've killed 37. So not many Teostras in this game. I will say in 4 Ultimate I killed a lot of Teostra, because I was doing Teostra guild quests, level 140 Teostra, and that was typically the level 140 guild quest that I would do. In the case of Freedom Unite, I obviously did a lot of Teostra for Big Elder Dragon jewels, so yeah. You generally did a lot of the standard 3 Elder Dragons in Molstana Freedom Unite for Big Elder Dragon jewels, because if you engage in the endgame of Freedom Unite, you'll realise that Big Elder Dragon jewels are very much needed. So 1,200 slayed for you, oh my god. For some people, Teostra is their least favourite Elder Dragon, so I guess you've gone and exposed yourself to great pain. I think Shinobu would be on the Japanese servers, unfortunately, Autonomic. Shinobu would be on the 3G servers, which is separate to 3 Ultimate. And sadly, my friend Yuli, whom I recently got onto 3 Ultimate again, is mostly playing 3G at the moment instead, because he reconnected with some friends from the past that he used to play 3G with. And yeah, so he doesn't really have time for me. Or at the very least, he'd rather play on there when playing 3 Ultimate, which I can understand. I'd rather that myself than have to start a new character. Alright. Bob the Builder has something out. Some kind of power tool. Outside. Sadly. Oh! I forgot to move myself. No one said anything. Hey, Beta. But yeah, I didn't even realize that I had forgotten to move myself. I don't know how much time we have before the maintenance starts, but I'm just going to hope the maintenance doesn't last for long. Now, I didn't see what you had said, Vernon. Did you switch to your blunt set? You did not. Well, that's alright. Guess we're not going to be blunt bros today. World is my least favourite in the series, says Shinobu. Well, we'll get along perfectly well. Shinobu, what is the opinion of the Japanese community when it comes to World? Like, do they like World, or do they think it's crap? Because I haven't really checked with the Japanese players. I've always hoped that the Japanese players don't like Generation 5, and I don't think they like it. But I'd like to hear from you, because I hear that a lot of the Japanese community spent a lot of money in World. A lot of money was spent. I think more money was spent in Molstana World in Japan than in any other country. And that's referring specifically to amount of money spent. That's not making allowances for population or anything like that. That's the amount of money spent was higher in Japan than anywhere else. So that seems to be, on a marketing level, pushing Capcom forward when it comes to in-game DLC. They see it to be profitable, and they're starting to explore their options for what they can get away with charging the end user. They're exploring the possibility of having content such as quests, monsters, and armor sets be purchasable DLC, or paid DLC, which is none of my fucking business because I don't play 5th gen, but for any person who does play 5th generation, you'd better be afraid. You'd better be afraid. Capcom are about to lay themselves bare before you as the dirty company that they are. It's mixed with us. Some like and others dislike because of all the updates, like characters from other games. Oh, I see. There you go. It is also mixed in Japan. Well, I would say that it's probably the same in Japan as it is here, in the sense that it's generational. Like, the people who've been playing for longer probably aren't interested, but the people who've only been playing Monster Hunter for a little while are probably more flexible and are able to appreciate the world and what it is. And that would be my guess. There are very, very rare cases, such as Vernon, who have played for a while and actually don't think World is a steaming pile of shit. But, and maybe it's not such a rare case. It's rare in my experience. In terms of who I've come across, it's rare. But I think there are other people who feel the way Vernon does, but, yeah. Yeah, I didn't place that shock trap. A remake of Monster Hunter 1 and 2 would be very good. The only reason why it probably won't be done is because I don't think there's a single monster in first generation Monster Hunter that hasn't reappeared in 4th gen, maybe even 5th gen. But a return to Mindguard would be amazing. I would love a return to Mindguard. But yeah. The thing with first generation Monster Hunter was that there weren't many monsters, and there weren't many weapon types. It was first generation for a reason. I don't know if anyone would enjoy it today. You and I would enjoy it, Shinobu, and most of the people watching this would enjoy it. But we're a minority, I think. I don't think many people would enjoy it, and so therefore, would they put the time into doing it? No. I don't think we should expect that. I don't think we should expect that at all. I wouldn't mind a few little quality of life improvements, such as maybe unlimited box space in first generation. That would be pretty good. I'd like that, but and being able to send items directly to the box after request, that would be nice. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not holding my breath on that. You know what? Beta is correct. The priority, if we're going to actually remake, well, not remake, maybe remaster an older Monster Hunter game, it has to be DOS, because DOS is the one that has been left behind. Monster Hunter 1 was brought to the West, and Monster Hunter G kind of received an English translation in the form of Monster Hunter Freedom, because Monster Hunter Freedom was basically G-rank first generation Monster Hunter, which was first established in Monster Hunter G. But in the case of DOS, that is a whole game that no one in the West has been able to play in English. And there's no good English translation either. I don't know if any of you have tried the English translation for DOS, but it's fucking bad. It's like, it's actually funny. I mean, there's annoying bad and there's funny bad. The DOS English translation is funny bad. It's just like, clearly the person did not refer to official translations of these things. Now, I don't know when the translation was done, but even if the translation was done in 2006, with only first generation translations available on the English side to refer to, they would have done a damn sight better of a job. They would have done a much better job had they referred to that. Because, you know, even things like whetstone are called something different. I can't remember what they call whetstone, but it's overall just dumb and not a good translation. Vernon says that he is 95% sure that Broski is using a hacked account and that we should kick him. Yeah, I see. Well, why do you say that? He's probably got a talisman with 2 skills on it, and he does have slotted decorations for 2 different skills. So, that would be... No, that is in order. That is in order. That is in order. Because he's got, keeping in mind, he's got double talisman and skill +2. So what we have here is likely status +5, stun +4, with a dragon res +2 decoration, and a normal up +4 decoration. And if it's not exactly that, then it's something along those lines. It can be achieved with this set. So, I would not say. Then, just look at it. Of course a talisman cannot have 3 skills innately, but he's using slots. He's got 2 skills on the talisman, and he's getting two skill points, or skill points for 2 different skills from the decoration slotted in the talisman, which makes 4 skills, or skill points for 4 different skills on 1 talisman. So you have to look more carefully before accusing people. Now, in the case of Trish, I mean, you have to also understand that Dragon Res +15 and Half Stun are just extra skills. Like that. And you also need to realize that there's a lot of filler in here. There are 4 skills here that are filler. Half Stun, Dragon Res +15, Skill +2, and Double Talisman. It's easy to get Half Stun and Dragon Res +15. So really, his set, effectively speaking, is only Status Attack +1, Normal Up, Pierce Up, and True Shot Up. So it's just a general use light bow gun set. I would not be accusing this guy of cheating if I were you. And as Beta says, it is the Neset skills, the skill +2 and the double talisman that make this set possible. That's the reason why you will see that certain combinations of skills can only be achieved with the Neset loadout. It's because of those skills. So, there you go. He's not going to be kicked on account of a set like that, I'll tell you that much. Okay, so what do you need now? Autonomic, are we still doing... Okay, Vernon, I don't know why. If this is your first time seeing a Neset loadout like that, then I suppose you can go and confirm if you want. If what you say is true, then he would have only cheated to have like 1 extra skill point on 1 decoration. That is how he would have cheated. That's the only way. You know. I mean, if this guy was cheating, that would be the most pathetic cheat you could possibly have, because you wouldn't need it. Anyway, what is next on the agenda, Autonomic? 2 more Cortexes, okay. And, hello, Just Carrots. We've been embroiled in a controversy regarding some Neset loadout, so I haven't been able to greet you. Okay, Sword and Shield. So, there we go, Dread Razor. It was literally the first Sword and Shield. I was thinking, God, where is it? And then I remembered, oh yeah, it's Kazu, which is rarity 2. Okay. Now, actually, do we want to do Hyper? Let's do Hyper, because I'm thinking that even though Autonomic can't really survive a Hyper hunt, I think we should take advantage of this full team. And hopefully Broski sticks around. I'm not going to use Sword and Shield for this, because my defense is not very good. I will actually use Hunting Horn. 1. Oppressor's Boon. Yeah. No, I wouldn't be lenient on hacked skills personally, Beta, but definitely, if he's using hacked skills, which he's not, I will state that categorically right here, he's not using hacked skills, and Vernon can confirm to his satisfaction if he'd like. But if he is using hacked skills, then he has gone, you know, one little baby step beyond what's possible, as opposed to, like, outright getting an extra skill that's totally, like, for instance, Silver Bullet. He hasn't just gone and given himself plus 10 points for Silver Bullet, or something like that. So, yeah. Anyway. You can keep checking in the hunt, Vernon, I don't mind. I'd just like to depart. Hey, Blue Barn. Now, something that's possibly worth referring to is the state of the Hunsterverse bot that was supposed to say that I was live yesterday, but didn't. Turned out the bot was just not operating at all. It was out of commission. Eclipse was not around to fix it at that time, but he did eventually come back, probably after having been sleeping, and restarted the bot, so now it should be working fine. I have not checked yet to see if it's saying that I'm live, but I will check. Let's see what's going on in there. Streaming announcements. Yes. It has me there as live, which is refreshing. So it is now working. Whereas before, it was doing anything but working. Okay, Cyanator. Here we go again. This is the Cyanator live stream. Not that I take issue with it, but we did a lot of Cyanator yesterday as well, I think. Well, that's right, Vernon. As I said, doesn't the order in which I said, like when I mentioned these skills the talisman had innately, it was just an example. Because, you know, I wasn't going to confirm what the requirements were for each decoration or whatever, but the point is that it is absolutely achievable what he has. And I'm a little surprised that you've been caught so terribly off guard by skill +2 and double talisman. Because that's just how it works. It does double the skill points of each, so, and that's exactly what I was seeing. So I will go and play Attack Up, assuming this is the correct song. Yes, it is. Yeah, I don't know, Beta. Hopefully... Well, I don't know when the maintenance will be starting, but I'm, at this stage, more concerned about how long it will be going for. We will be forcefully logged out at that time. So if we all suddenly disconnect, we know why, but... yeah, I don't know. Actually, now that I think about it, I definitely need to get defense up on the go for Autonomic's sake. It's still not really going to prevent heavy damage, but it might prevent a one-shot at least. Sorry if I hit you, Vernon. Sorry about that. I actually sent him out of the fucking area during a paralysis, which is the ultimate faux pas. I was playing a song in my defense, but... I was playing a song in my defense for defense. But, yeah, that was a pretty nasty thing to do. You're guessing in 6 minutes. That's very specific. Not 5.5, but 6. Might get towards the head with Sonic Smash, you never know. Might be able to get some KO damage out. I'm enjoying Sonic Smash 3. I'm very much used to the level 2 Hunter Art. It's a bit of a longer, more damaging combo with Sonic Smash 3. I was thinking maybe it would be the same combo, just dealing heavier damage, but no, it's an updated combo. Ow. I suppose aiming for the claws would be in order, wouldn't it? There you go, there's the KO. Trying to get to these claws is damn near impossible. There we go. I think that's both claws done. Yes, it is. Goodie. Might top up attack. Just to reset the timer on it. Beautiful. Was able to top up both attack and defense with the double notes there. Oh yeah. I don't know why you don't see this hunting horn online. I've got no idea. All of my hunting horns do attack up, so... Because in my opinion that is the most important hunting horn skill across the board. Because you have to understand that hunting horn lacks damage, so it needs to make up for that lack of damage by boosting the damage of the team. So... And you could technically boost the damage of the team if you had people who are heavily reliant on stamina, such as, you know, dual blade loadouts, but who's to say they don't already bring Mega Dash Gears? And again, it's very situational. You could also technically say that raw resistance, in other words, earplugs, would boost team DPS, but again, kind of situational in my opinion. Attack up, on the other hand, is something that will benefit the team no matter the circumstance. So, I find attack up large to be the most important, which is attack plus 15% in this game, for a bonus of 5% beyond that. Go and top up those songs again, and then I'll go into Sonic Smash. Beautiful. Oh, that was only attack this time. I see. So it seems to be random then. I thought that there was some logic to that, but there isn't. Good to know. As far as double notes and what other songs are affected by, like, you know, the extra songs, or the extra song, singular, that is included with a double note, seems to be random. I used to think that there was actually something to... I thought it was something you could control, but it's not. So there you go. I've not tried Invigoration 3. What weapon is that for? Charge Blade? Or are you referring to Hunting Horn? I don't think I've tried it. I haven't tried many Hunter Arts, to be honest. I've just gone with whatever seems to be appropriate, and I've just stuck with that. Not really big on the whole Hunter Art thing. I use them because why not, but I don't explore them. I do love that. It's sort of like a... don't really know how to describe it, but the horns there with the big horn. It's just nice. I don't know, there's some symmetry to it. Not truly, because the head is actually tilted to the side, but you can actually look... you can effectively look up his skirt and see his donger, as they say. Which is a bit rude. Hunting Horn, you slide and play your song pretty fast. Oh, you mean that stupid thing? Yeah. I watched a friend use it. He was like, oh, check this out, and I was like, what the hell is that? And I believe that is now what Hunting Horn is in Rise. I believe those were the movesets that were ported over. I thought that was a style, not a Hunter Art, but I guess it is a Hunter Art. Alright. So, have we killed enough Cyanitaur at this point? Well, probably. I mean, I actually don't even know what you're working towards now that I think about it. I realise that you need Cyanitaur, but I hadn't actually thought about what you were physically working towards. Let's just keep looking for Exchanger here. I do try to find Exchanger each time. No, that's pretty crazy for iframes then, because the Teostra Supernova is quite an extended hitbox, so yeah, it must be a lot of iframes then. I used to go with Evasion in Try, but I got sick of it. It's just, no, I prefer avoiding the monster altogether. The thing with Evasion combat is that it's very good for DPS in the sense that you don't have to leave the monster. You don't have to leave the monster's side. You can stay in range and attack frequently. And then, yeah. Don't have to worry about I guess, losing DPS, basically. You can maintain that whilst avoiding attacks. No update on the maintenance. I was right in that I think it will be a while before it actually goes, or begins. I don't know. But, you never know. We could be given like a countdown any moment. Because I think it is a countdown, isn't it? I think it counts down in 10-second intervals from 60. But I don't know. I think I've only seen maintenance twice on these servers since I started playing, which was, you know, when the game came out, basically. Well, I don't know what you were working on in the first place, Autonomic. Because, I don't know if you can sound that, but I don't know if you can sound that, I can't fucking talk right now. You got DC'd. Oh, maybe they're starting to disconnect people. That could be what's happening here, unless you DC'd for some other reason. Because it's possible Broski left on his own just then. You were working on the Cyanitaur armor, okay. Yeah, maybe they're not disconnecting people. Broski probably left on his own. You may as well join beta if you want to, because I don't know when this maintenance is actually going to begin. Could be in 30 minutes, I wouldn't know. Could be in 30 minutes or 3 minutes. So, what have we got here? Oh, you've got full Cyanitaur. Okay. With speed sharpening, which works well for that set. I mean, obviously, could always get stamina recovery though. Have you checked your decorations for that? If it's not easy to make those decorations, then you don't have to, but I think you'd feel better about the set if you could get stamina recovery up too. Which would be good with a long sword, I feel. Ah, I see. So they are beginning maintenance for different people, as we speak. So Vernon was told to disconnect, but I wasn't, for example. So it's different for different people. They're staggering the disconnects. which is strange. I would understand if they staggered log-ons, or, you know, stopped people from logging in all at once, but disconnecting? That's strange. Would have assumed that that would be global, but whatever. I guess we're gonna have to negotiate that in some way. I'm being sent proof that beta has been refused entry. The server is currently undergoing maintenance. Well, what's probably happened is that they've prevented people from logging in since maintenance was scheduled to go ahead. So they're basically just allowing people who are currently playing to leave when they're ready to leave, and then they'll go ahead with it. Which makes sense, because it allows them to control the number of people that are playing. They want to slowly reduce that number. Definitely sucks for the people who can't get on though, because what happens is they have to wait for longer to play. It's not just the maintenance period that they have to wait for, it's also the announcement of the maintenance that they have to wait for too. So, it's kind of annoying. We can still get away with the hunt, I think. Oh. Well, that's a communication error. That's different, well, I'm guessing I won't be allowed back in now. If I'm not, then I'll just do some solo hunts. Of what, I've got no idea. I'll probably just find some quests that I haven't done, yeah. So, let's find some quests that I haven't done. We'll go and kick around the Sauratorium for a little while, because I haven't been through there for a while. Also, something that I was meaning to say was that I don't know if you can hear it, but it sounds as if there are multiple chainsaws in the distance. Like multiple, not one, but two. And I don't know why that's going on, but anyway. How do I... Here we go, world map, that's what I was looking to do. It's been so long since I've accessed the bloody world map that I didn't even know how to do it. I pretty much only play online in this game these days, so... What's going on in the lab? Haven't talked to you guys in a while. Y Academy ticket. Y Academy ticket G. And you're the transmog cat. And the supply drop cat. Which I've never made use of, by the way. I don't even know how supply drops work. I'm guessing it's just giving you extra items when a resupply takes place, or the supplying of the box takes place. That's what I would guess happens. Oh, there are actually prerequisites to receiving it. So after fainting once, you receive an easy max potion, which is pretty good. But, and at that point, I mean, you'd have no real reason to even bring max potions, but yeah. I've never used these supply drops before, not even once have I used them. Thanks for the subscription, N10. What the hell? 3 in a row? That's disgusting. 3 ads in a row. 2 in a row is awful. 3 is not on. What the fuck? Anyway. Alright, bistro ticket. Again, already sent to the item box. Look at me making my way to the item box to put it away. Out of pure force of habit. Alright. So, I don't think I've done many high rank quests, no. Because it's all the low rank... What the fuck? You know, let me just say that I do have the Hayabusa feather, and yet look at this, I haven't done all the low rank quests, so what does that mean? It must mean, it's Prowler quests, that's what it is. So I haven't done all the Prowler quests. And obviously I have extra quests to unlock here. You haven't actually completed a quest star level until you get the yellow tick, you see. So, I don't know, I don't think I'll be doing any of these solo. Don't think that would be too fun. I don't really want to do Wrath of Wrath, which is the old Wyverns of the Land and Sky in the village, which used to give you the Shining Wyvern Blade, which likely isn't ticket-based anymore. I guess I could... oh no, this is low rank. Well, I can do a low rank one, yeah. I can do a low rank one. Suppose I could still... yeah, I could very easily just drop a smoke bomb. But yeah, obviously the advanced quests are not actually related to Hayabusa Feather. I don't really care so much about the offline stuff, so the only reason why I've done as much as I have done is because I wanted the Hayabusa Feather. But I'm past the point now where I look to be completionist. I just enjoy myself online, really, that's how I play. Now, I might go Sword and Shield. I think that would be fun. And we'll bring, well, Thunder probably, because that damages both of them. Rather than Water. Okay. So that should be... don't take a capture, dickhead. Alright, so I do have Razor Sharp, I just wanted to make sure, because I don't really like the sharpness here, but it should be fine. Anyway, let's go and do that Wrath of Wrath quest. More like Wrath of Rat. Whoa. Very funny, Doom Link. Yeah, I do. There's the hardest headpiece, I think, is the one that gives you luck plus 15. That is really time consuming to get. I don't know why a person would try to get that. It's not worth it. By the time you spend the time to get plus 15 on that one headpiece, you don't fucking need stuff anymore. You've probably played so much of the game that you don't need stuff, which is, I mean, that's the ultimate irony. That's basically Capcom making fun of you. They're saying, haha, you can have better chances to get things when you don't need things anymore. Enjoy. Now, it is technically possible, probably, that you might still need stuff, but I don't know. Alright. I wonder if the fence can be used here. The fence switch is ready to use. Alright, who's around here? I'm just dropping one immediately. That was not necessary, because I started kind of far away from them. Now I can get away with hitting you. I guess we'll start with Silver Rattlers, that's fine. We'll just have to be aware of the time that I have. Oh yeah, Sword and Shield will be very good for smoke bombs, of course, because I can just place them whenever I want, essentially. As soon as I see that effect waning. I'm kind of scared to even attack him, to be honest. Yeah, the fence switch can be used, by the way, which is pretty easy to do when you're solo, I'll tell you. Oops. That's not quite what I wanted to do there. I think that, yep, the effect is going away. Whoa, I'm still shielding, don't you worry about that, Silver Rattlers. Some person's going to see me doing this and will say, you should be using level appropriate gear, Doom Link. Well, guess what? I'm G rank, so I'm going to use G rank stuff. Do forgive me. Okay. Thanks. Thank you. I didn't bring any flash bombs, which would have been kind of easier, but I don't particularly need them. Bugger off. Not taking any chances with it. Now that I think about it, Sword and Shield with this dickhead is no fun, because he won't get out of the fucking air. Like, he just won't get out of the air. That's why you bring flash bombs, Doom Link. It's not about cheesing them, it's about getting this asshole out of the air, because he won't get out of the air. That's basically what he's designed to do. It is remain out of reach. Almost had to take a hit for that. Almost took a hit from that. Trying to keep away from the... White Sharpness bouncing on the fucking neck. I don't like Silver Rattlers, in case you needed me to tell you. Don't you dare hit me out of Wind Press. You fucking asshole with your Wind Press. Actual ass. Yeah, me doing solo hunts is rare. And maybe I shouldn't be reading the chat while I'm under siege. Let us not forget that this is fucking low rank. But you know what? I technically don't have G rank defense right now. This is a very low defense set. 708 is what I have at this time. So, it's not too bad, but still. A sword and shield on a silver Rathlos with no flash bombs is no fun, so... If you could get out of the fucking air, I'd be quite happy. I tried to roll away from that, but that didn't work. Okay, I get the fucking point, dickhead. I very much get the point. You can see how out of practice I am with solo hunts at this point. Yeah, I should have brought flash bombs, that would have been my... yeah, okay. Bad habits die hard, man. Oh, it is technically a high rank quest. Okay. Which would make sense because the Gold Raytheon and Silver Athlos monsters do not exist in high rank natively, so... Uh-oh. Oh, I think she's seen me. Has she seen me? I don't think she has. I'm too busy looking at her. This guy's my fucking nemesis, by the way. I absolutely hate Rathalos in general. I've always hated him. You can see that when you're out of his reach, his whole idea is that he attacks you repeatedly, over and over and over again, and you can't even reach him. That's the theme of this monster, so unfortunately, if you're in a situation like me where you're using a low-range Blade Master weapon type, or a close-range Blade Master weapon type, you're kind of fucked. Now, I stopped moving there because of my fucking analog stick being shit on this controller. I did not actually physically stop moving because I wanted to. Just trying to shield that, we got flinched by the bloody leg anyway. Am I taking a hit to do that? Yes, I am, because... oh, look who's been pissed off, and look, yeah, this is great. I mean, what a good day, right? Stupid. Sword and Shield was a terrible decision, and not bringing flash bombs was a terrible decision. I am not sufficiently organized for this quest at all. I'm being lazy, and I'm also out of practice. But I'll do the quest still. Now that Raytheon is pissed off, it'll probably be hard to get a smoke bomb active, but that's alright. Flashes don't work in smoke in this game? That's interesting. But I suppose that would make sense. I'll try doing this exit, because... yeah, see? Both pissed off. Fence switch it is. Which is fine. They've made it easy for you now. I don't really want to fight you, Raytheon. Oh, how annoying is this? Okay, well, is it safe to do it? I'm gonna try. There you go. Well, Raytheon it is, I suppose. Raytheon it is. I hate these two, I really do. I suppose you could technically say that this isn't necessarily easier than the first gen equivalent, for the reason that in first gen you can abuse flash bombs much better than you can in this game. Here you've got a fence switch already, but still. God, this is some fucking shit right now, guys. This weapon is bouncing. It's low range. I mean, really. I've basically handicapped myself in every way. But... whatever. Come down. Stupid dragon. Why have I done this to myself? Yeah, had I brought Pierce Heavy Bowgunner, we'd be halfway done by now. Don't you dare. I mean, I was basically ready to shield that, but for some reason couldn't quite get out that fucking animation. Yeah, I know how your stupid tail works. Look at her with her fucking wind press. Did you see that combo? Drops down for the wind press and tries to, you know, hoping that I'm affected by the wind press, hit me with fucking... Of course the wing would be in there. Of course it would be! It tries to do a follow-up with a tail swing. You're still pissed off. Rathalos, how about you relax a little bit? This is such a shit quest. Not a fan. I mean, look at this. I cannot even negotiate this because I can't watch Rathalos and your dumb tail at the same time. Abandon ship. Can't yet though, I have to wait for my death animation. Abandon ship, terrible situation. I was not prepared for that quest and that was a stupid idea. That was dumb. Silver Rathalos is crap. Gold Raytheon is crap. I hate the both of them. And Sword and Shield is not appropriate when it's bouncing, when it can't hit anything except their legs, which is not a weak point incidentally. Can't hit the wings consistently. Can't even hit Silver Rathalos consistently because he's out of range because I didn't bring flash bombs and all that business. Well, that was a fun fucking adventure, wasn't it? It was good fun. Hello, zombie. I'm guessing there's still no online. Or is there? Oh. Okay, well there you go. Maintenance is over, everyone. Hope that was entertaining for someone. That was shit. I mean, had I prepared and brought a good... I mean, I should have just brought... Heavy bowgun would have been pretty easy, but... Oh well. So... I guess we'll call it helping a friend again. Not that it matters because we should have 4 people, so... Let's say helping friend. I think that's what I called it last time. Yep, should be fine. Okay. So that was, yeah, not very nice. That experience I just had. But oh well. At least I quit while I was ahead, huh? At least. Well, I wouldn't say ahead, but it could have been worse. Technically. And there's a team of 4. So, were you able to... Oh, there you go. Autonomic has instead decided to go with attack up small. Just shy of attack up medium, unfortunately. But... that's alright. Still pretty good. He's decided that's more important than stamina recovery, which I would agree is probably more important. Well, the goal is just to help Autonomic with whatever he's doing. We just finished making his armor set, his first G-rank armor set. It is full Senator X, which is a good choice. I personally go the Rathalos X route, but Senator X is a good alternative to that. And I suppose now we're just going to be working on key quests. That's what I think. Because now he's basically ready to go. He's got, well, I suppose your weapon needs to be upgraded. Now, good options for that would be the Elder weapons. I think they're called Elder. What are they called again? I think they're all called Elder something or other. So let's check Longsword, for instance. So, Elder Saber, yeah. So, if you want something to be made as quickly as possible, then one of these Elder weapons would work. It'll be doing more damage than whatever you have now, but we could alternatively work towards something that would be useful in the endgame. And the elder weapons are not useful in the endgame, so... At least not in my opinion. Huh. Valstrax's longsword. I don't think I've ever seen a person use the Valstrax's longsword online. Haven't seen this since Portable Third. No one uses this weapon anymore. Haven't really seen the Dark Claw around either, you know. The Carnlos longsword, you never see that. Pirate sword J. I love all the Brain Fox stuff. Absolutely love the designs. Or the Fox whatever. I think Brain Fox is only what the gun lance was called. I think it was the lance. So the Brain Fox lance was the gun lance from Tri, but it was the Japanese version. So they had a different design. I believe the difference was in the coloration. So in the English version it was sort of a dark grey / black. And in the Japanese version it was a silvery, like a blue-ish silvery colour. Outside of that it was the same weapon design. Well, we don't really have to worry about him being set up for Atul necessarily. He's got a lot to go through before getting to Atul, and I would say overall he'd be better with going for something that deals raw damage or blast or some kind of status. Even poison would be appropriate. So you need 2 more Emperor Hoppers for Elder Saber. I really hope you kept 1 Emperor Hopper so that you can Slick Axe that whenever you need it. Did you Slick Axe your Emperor Hoppers only to consume all of them? Because I'll probably cry if you did that. You always keep at least 1 of the bugs so that you can Slick Axe it when you need it. Anyway. Okay. No Emperor Hoppers for Autonomic, unfortunately, so I guess we could alternatively... I mean, are there decent blast longswords that aren't Brachydios? I'm so sick of hunting Brachydios. I mean, let's not forget that we just hunted a lot of Brachydios in 3 Ultimate for Autonomic's benefit, so I would like to think that even he doesn't want to do it in this game, so maybe we won't do blast. Unfortunately, we don't have options like Tigrex, ultimately moving into Molten Tigrex in this game, so Brachydios would probably be the main one. Alternatively, you've got Teostra, but that's probably not a good option. I don't know. Now, Poison would end up being Ian Garuga, but the problem with that is that I fought so much fucking Garuga with a friend of mine that I was getting through this game, and he doesn't even play anymore, by the way. I hunted so much Garuga with that fucking guy, it was just insane. So, I don't know if I want to do Garuga. I really don't know if I'm emotionally capable of that. Young Garuga. Well, I've only hunted 70 apparently, but still. I don't know. Oh, I haven't even received your guild card before. Well, you say Deadeye, then, but it's not a matter of... Well, no, it wouldn't be easier, because we would have to go through 15 levels of Deadeye. Do you really want to do 15 levels of Deadeye, young Garuga? If you want to talk about death, I'll be dead by the time we've gone through 15 levels of fucking Deadeye, young Garuga. I mean, it sounds all well and good in theory, until you spend, like, 4 hours on it, and then you realise, wow, I would rather put a fucking needle in my eye. You know, like, it's just... Ugh, makes me sick. I wouldn't want to do it. But anyway. Now, Rust Razor would be okay, because that's a G-rank deviant, so... And we can do Rust Razor. let's do that. You know what? Rust Razor would be a-okay, and that's a good option for raw, and we'll do that. Now, it is more Cyanator, but I'd rather do more Cyanator, at least in a slightly different form, than committing to 15 levels of Deadeye Yangaruga. And I'd probably be hanging from a tree by the 8th level, so let's not talk about 15. Anyway, Lunatic Thorn. Let's maybe try Status for a change, just for some fun. Your first deviant hunt? Radio. This will be G1, so we have to be nice and careful here that we don't accidentally kill this thing. Which seems to happen frequently. I regret to say. Alright. Again, looking for the typical, but may or may not get it. Not there anyway. Oh. No, not looking good. Defense large it is with Sword and Shield. And Defender high. Actually, then again, this set has better defense. Still not all that good because it still uses the higher Booster Feather, but it's better defense than my standard Sword and Shield set. Probably thanks to all the Ashurian XR pieces here. Is it all fully upgraded? I've got no idea. I think, yeah, it's all fully upgraded, so... that's the best I can do, defense-wise. Oh, HR 10 for Rust Razor, that's frustrating. That's okay, we can do... Now here's the stupid thing about Rust Razor. There will be an HR requirement of 12, I believe, for G3 and beyond, something like that. So even getting him to HR 10 is not going to be the end of the story. So let me check Rust Razor myself. Because I'm guessing yes, so I was right. G3 and beyond is an HR 12 requirement. G5, well, G3 and G4 is HR 12. G5 is HR 13, and obviously EX is 100, so... yeah, it's not going to end with HR 10, unfortunately. I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to be hunting with us. I want him to do G-rank level damage, but he doesn't necessarily have to deal really good G-rank damage, because we'll be doing plenty of that ourselves. So I think provided he's at least doing basic G-rank damage, he should be fine. So maybe we can take the Rust Razor route. I'd say that would be fine. 270 raw's fine, yeah. Compare that to what he has now. That's definitely going to be positive, and at the end of the day, it's better that he gets something Rust Razor, because that will allow him to get a very good longsword for the endgame, whereas in the case of the Elder longsword, it's not very good at all. So, yeah, Rust Razor is definitely the way to go about it. That's what I think. Yep. And the key quests leading up to HR 10 are very low level anyway, so it's fine for him to be dealing that sort of damage. So should I bring up a key quest list? Probably. I'll just refer to it, it's easier. Let's get the double-crossed decks up and running. So, our first G1 urgent quest. And I don't know if you've done any, actually, now that I think about it. Well, urgent quest, I say key quest is what I meant to say. The first is just Gypsyros. Standard Gypsyros. Lost but not for long is what it's called. So I suppose I'd be posting them if I'm... Oh, I'm not going to bring a poison weapon to a Gypsyros hunt. That's probably not a good idea. Probably not the best idea I've had all day, so let's go and change. Let's bring Lance one. It'll be Glavenus Lance for this quest. Is Vernon subbing out for Zombie? I don't know. Anyway, I guess we'll find out. So, Lost but Not For Long is our first key quest, assuming it hasn't been done yet. What's happening? Is Vernon going to leave, or is he not? That's very odd. Anyway. Sometimes I'm left a little perplexed and confused. Sometimes. But yeah, it's good to see that the Hunsterverse bot is working now. It had been not working for a long time. And it was kind of unfortunate, but, well, for over 24 hours it was not working, so it was not auto-updating or anything like that, so... Yeah. Well, apparently Vernon's need to go and get the food was so urgent that he couldn't leave the room after offering Zombie a space. Vernon, I'm confused. You sort of offered Zombie a space. Are you leaving or are you not? Can't leave him in limbo. It's very strange. That's not to say I want you to leave, I'm just saying that that's what you offered. You will be in 30 minutes, okay. But... Okay. Sure. Sit tight for 30 minutes, Zombie. This will be a quick hunt anyway. It's just Gypsyros. An oldie but not a goodie, this monster. I mean, I don't mind Gypsyros. He was very dynamic for first gen, I will say. He was one of the most dynamic monsters of first gen. In the way that he worked, you know. Resistant to shock traps. And also had a fake death. Dealt poison damage. I mean, he was pretty fucking dynamic, but he sucked. He was annoying to fight. And he still is kind of annoying to fight. Not as annoying. The issues with him in the past were mainly related to monster AI. Yes, Autonomic, as far as all the HRP based games, and this is not including 5th gen because I don't know how it works in 5th gen, but as far as all the games where you can rank up with HRP, this is the easiest to rank up in. Most definitely. It's because the HRP requirement just doesn't seem to go up. If it does go up, it goes up in such tiny increments that there's barely a difference from HR 400 to HR 800, so yeah, it's not like, for example, 3 Ultimate, where it can take a very long time. Where it really does noticeably take more and more time the higher up the hunt ranks you go. Here? No. Not really. Like, I've actually spent more time playing 3 Ultimate than this game, and in 3 Ultimate I'm about half the hunter rank I am here. So, that should give you a sense of what I'm talking about. It's very easy to HR up. But still, I will sort of feel as if I've achieved something when I hit 999 here. Just don't know when it'll happen. Eventually. I was hoping for this year, but who knows. I might not play the game frequently enough to get it done this year. Should be aiming for the tail, really, but that's alright. Again, the tail of the Gypceros is historically one of the highest elemental / physical damage hit zones in the series. It's unreasonable, the amount of damage that he takes from his tail. I don't know why they made it such an insane hit zone, but it really is just crazy. That's his first fake death. I don't mind taking a hit here. Sadly, Beta got heavily destroyed. Alright. Rubber chicken. Pure crystal. Wouldn't mind getting those that easily in first gen, but I do have ways to get pure crystals in first gen without too much difficulty. I have my ways. Yeah, it wasn't going to be a long hunt, so it was fine to depart without you. Okay. Next quest. And I've done all the key quests for this game a lot of times. I've done it for my friend who kicked Gaijin Hunter. I've done it for another friend. Another friend. I've obviously done it for myself. And I'll be doing it for, I guess, a 5th time? No, this will be the 6th time because also I did them for Ethan. So this will be the 6th run of key quests in this game for me. Brilliant. Anyway. Not repetitive at all, right? So next quest will be Cephadrome and Daimyo Hermital. Oh, and your girlfriend, yes. Everyone, come to me. I'll do all your key quests. I don't think I did all of her key quests though. That wouldn't really work because that doesn't count because I didn't do all of them. I have done all of them 5 times, and I'm now working on my 6th run. So I only did a few here and there. Anyway, yes, it is in the dunes. It's not going to be in the swamp with our friend the Cephadrome. What should I bring? I'll bring something raw. Do I have a raw lance? Well, I know what my raw lance is. I know very well. Blunt lance, there you go. Which I like using. Nothing against that. It is actually an opportunity to use a lance that I would not touch with a 10-foot pole otherwise. It's pretty good. 370 damage, negative 20% affinity, and a bit of green sharpness. Would otherwise be a pretty damn shit weapon, but it's pretty good with bludgeoner. Yeah, just let Horn's coins amass. You'll get to the point where you don't really need them anymore, but it's nice to have them. And I've definitely sold pages and pages of them. Well, I haven't sold them. I've, traded them for whatever you can trade them for, but yeah. So I'm not sitting on as many Horn's coins as I otherwise would be. I mean, I had pages of them, literally, because they do amass over time. Ridiculously, because you get them every single quest that you do in G rank. But, yeah, just let them build up. If you want to trade them for anything, just talk to the mistress here, the little girl, and she will probably give you a list of things that you can trade Horn's coins for. And it might be different for you than it is for me, but probably not very different. Every now and again you will need a privileged G, or pristine ore, or immaculate ore, or something like that. And if you want to do the transmog game, yes, Horns coins are needed. Or the transmog game is what I meant to say. It's, I think, quite bright outside, so I believe I will be fixing my lighting so that I'm not glowing like some kind of divine orange. There you go. And I'm in the secret area. There you go. Cool. May as well gather here. I don't need any bug nets and I don't need any pickaxes, so I may as well just gather while I'm here. And sure, I'll gather at you too. What the hell's... what are you going to give me here? Super rare ferns? No, it doesn't look like it. I'm still getting... oh, it's charms here. And heavy armor spheres. It's very odd for that kind of node to be giving me time-worn charms. I don't really get it, but whatever. I won't question it too much. Oh, I'm going the wrong ass way. Unless I want... yes, I do apparently want to hunt Cephadrome. And I forgot to eat, apparently. What the hell's going on with me? Must have been distracted by something. Of course, as I lower the brightness of my room, the outside lighting conditions change to make it unnecessary, but whatever. Hello, Cephadrome. It's even more obvious in this game which one the Cephadrome is, not just by size, but in this case, colour. There was a coloration difference in 1st and 2nd gen, but it was not as stark as this. It is much darker here in this game. Which is a good thing. We want to be able to differentiate them properly now, don't we? The Hermitor is already dead. The monster with more health than this one, so... there you go. But we did only just begin confronting this thing, so... there you go. You'll definitely want to go and get your Hermitor calves as soon as you can, Autonomic. In fact, do that now. Leave me here, Autonomic, and go and get your Hermitor calves. Because that is going to be important. Ah! Leave me the hell alone, you stupid sandfish. Okay, I get the point. I get the point. You're an annoying flopping fish. He wants to catch up to the standard Lavazioth set as the most annoying floppy fish of 2nd gen. Come on. Don't think I've ever taken the time to specifically aim for a Cephadrome's head. It's breakable in this game, what the fuck? That was not breakable in the past. It was one big fucking thing. I just viewed him as one giant hit zone in the past. He's got a breakable head in this game, that's incredible. I suppose he's getting a bit of a revamp. I actually like his moves, I like the way he moves, to quote the song. Because... you know, he was pretty nondescript and uninspired in 1st and 2nd gen. Mount kill? Nice. Well, there you go. See, now it's a little dark. Ooh, whatever. Yeah, no, I trusted you. I trusted your point, Beta, when you mentioned that before about mounting damage. But, I was more incredulous to the fact that Capcom would implement something so fucking imbalanced. But then, I thought about it again and I realised, well, it is Capcom we're talking about. They wouldn't know good balancing if it hit them across the back of the fucking head. So, it is what it is. That's interesting, Autonomic. Piscine Wyverns minus Cephadrome because he's deemed physically smaller. Piscine Wyverns get 4 calms with Plesioth and Lavazioth, so maybe it wouldn't be appropriate to say Piscine Wyverns across the board get 4 calms, but yeah, good catch on that one. Cephadrome has always traditionally had 3 calms. Worn Hammer, do I? Okay, just in case I'll take it, but I'm pretty sure I have a Worn Hammer already. I think I turned it into... Is it Worn or Rusted for Teostra / Deora? I don't know. I think it's Worn for Kushala Deora and Rusted for Teostra. And if it's Worn for Kushala, then I've already made that in this game. I believe. Let's have a look. Hello? Oh, that's my 3rd Worn Hammer, there you fucking go, so... How about sell equipment, sell Worn Hammer? Yeah, goodbye. Get out of my inventory. Food is important, Vernon. Food is very important. I'm not myself when I'm hungry, according to certain advertising campaigns. Okay, so... Our next quest. I have forgotten that I'm actually the one working out what we're doing. Next quest is Survival of the Biggest. That is Geodrome and Bulldrome. With my list, I'm going purely based on the monster icons, by the way. Occasionally I was in the habit in the past of only checking the first monster icon, but I've realised there are a lot of double quests, so I've been checking to see if there are other monsters involved. And yes, in this case, it is Geodrome and Bulldrome. If anyone is watching right now who found me from Hunsterverse, make yourself known, because I've got no idea if I'm getting any traffic from Hunsterverse, much less a decent number of people. My guess is not. I mean, I'd be lucky to get 1 person from Hunsterverse, I would guess, but you know, it's another place to have my live streams up and visible, there you go, enunciate Doomling for the benefit of everyone listening. But, yeah, I've got no idea. Arexian's like, I am not from Hunsterverse. Well, thank you. That's very useful information. I will change to something... How about I do Hunting Horn? Let's just do Hunting Horn for this quest. I mean, this is going to be a very quick quest. Let me make it very clear. So, I'll use the Glavenus Hunting Horn. That's fine, Arexian. Alright. So, what was it? Survival of the Biggest? There we go. And don't worry about setting up for it, Vernon. Don't worry about it. A, you'll be using paralysis anyway, and B, they're pretty fucking easy to hunt. Alright. I'm looking for Exchanger. I can't help myself. I'm some kind of Exchanger junkie who has become physically and mentally dependent. Okay, come on. There it is. I fucking found it. Sorry. I'm gonna eat a gourmet voucher because I need this in my life. Hello, Juvenator. My character is a little bit inebriated. Here we go. Okay. I don't know how quickly this quest will be done, but I'd say quickly. Generally speaking. I'll go to where Autonomic is. It's not going to be as quick, actually, because Beta and Vernon have started kind of far from the monsters. Now, it's not as big of a deal here in this game, because you can make your way through the snowy mountains much faster than you could in DOS, Freedom 2, and Freedom Unite, but still, it's pretty distant. Hold on. What are my notes? Is it red then orange? Must be red then orange. But it might not finish on a purple note. It doesn't finish on a purple note. What the fuck is it? It finishes on a red note. And it's double orange. That's fucked. I'm attacking Gear Prey right now, I realise this. I'm just trying to get my song in order. Forgive me. You started at base. Well, again, it's better here in this game than in the old games, huh? I don't know if Beta actually managed to get... Oh, Beta will be getting attack up in this case. Yeah, there you go. Awesome. We all have attack up, and I almost feel sorry for the Gear Drone. Almost. Poor bastard creature. Good night. And as you all know, I'm a hoarder, so I'm carving. Well, even Beta's carving. There you go. Vernon doesn't have time for that shit, but we're all carving. Let's do it. I need Geodrome stuff, what can I say? Now, the chances of me ever needing Geodrome anything are incredibly low, but I'm a hoarder, so... Give me the Geodrome stuff. That was a very weird gathering node that I just passed, because I saw no visual indicator. Whoa! Holy jumping, Jesus! Look at the size of him! That is a gold crown bull drone right there. Holy shit, look at him! Aren't we all stopping to appreciate the size of this fucking thing? It's huge! Oh, it's always massive, I see. Well, how have I, you know, let's not forget that this is the 6th time I've done this quest at least, and I'm still surprised by this. It's huge! What the fuck? Is it a guaranteed gold crown? Is that how that works? The size fucking surprised me, and I'm apparently a veteran of doing bloody key quests. Yeah, look at him, he's if you saw this in real life, you'd be shitting. I'd be shitting. If I saw a wild boar in real life, I'd be getting to high ground, but if this fucking thing was walking around, I'd dump ass and then try to make do with my situation. My god. No, I don't quick menu the hunting horn songs. I don't have time for that shit, you gotta be kidding me. I didn't even know that was an option. I memorized the songs. I was just confused by the song for this hunting horn because it's so vastly different to all the other attack up songs that I have for my hunting horns. It actually plays more like a defense up song in that the middle 2 notes are of the same color and all that business. I'm very much an old fogey with hunting horn. Oh, that was a gold crown small gear drone. Okay. Oh, just to see when songs need to be replayed. Huh. That would be useful. But I guess I don't want to become reliant on that. Which might sound silly, but I just don't want to become reliant on it. I think part of the hunting horn experience is, you know, having a mental... I guess, keeping a mental note on when you played the song, how much time has passed, and when it would be appropriate to try to replay or even restart the counter. So, Yeah, and I'd say that because I always return to the older games. You know, for people who've only played the newest games where you don't need to worry about that sort of stuff, yeah, go for it. Go and know immediately when you need to replay a song. But in my case, if I become reliant on that system here, I will suffer when I return to the other games, which I return to all the time. I shouldn't say return to, because it's not returning when you never left. And I never left, so yeah. I don't want to become reliant on systems like that. Alright. Next is Water Fight, which is 2 Ludroth. And I might as well call them ahead. We've got also single Raytheon, leading into an urgent quest with Baroth. Vernon has left. He's heading off to work. Zombie, the quest should be, or the room should be pretty well visible. It's called Helping Friend. And, yeah, no requirement to join the room. Thanks for hunting, Vernon. Alright, so yeah, again, next quest is double Ludroth. So, could always stick with it. You know what, I'll stick with this. I would like to use more Hunting Horn. This is not going to be another Hunting Horn stream, but I do feel like some Hunting Horn. Hello, Justice. Again, if anyone is joining through Hunsterverse, do make yourself known, because I'd like to know, at least sort of, whether or not it's getting the stream out there to anyone. The bot's working today, at least. But I don't know if anyone actually checks that channel. I've got no idea what sort of eyes are on that channel. Yeah, so Juvenator, Zombie was in line to join before you started watching, so you are free to join if anyone does leave for any reason, but in this case Zombie was waiting for a while, so yeah. Alright, off we go. This will be a quick quest, obviously, because it's just standard Ludroth, and they will have reduced health, given that it is a double quest, so won't be time consuming at all. Melody effect. Here you go. Okay, so I understand. So it's not on screen all the time. I see. I see what's happening. Right. Interesting. No, you know what? That's fine. That's good, thank you, Blue Barn. I didn't know what it was going to be like. I thought maybe it would just be on screen all the time. I thought it was maybe an option that you could select that would have it on screen all the time. But if it's just, you know, pressing start, that's great. I'll probably have that. Thanks for that. I'll do Finale, which I hate. I hate the name of it because it should be Melody Effects Extended. That's what it was traditionally called, and that was perfectly descriptive. I'm playing the wrong ass note. But yeah, like Melody Effects Extended very clearly outlines what the effect of the song is. Finale means fucking nothing. Finale means the end. In actual fact, it's the beginning. So what's the logic? I don't know. I've got no fucking idea, but anyway. Very silly to me. Very silly to me. Sorry if I hit anyone, I'm just playing a song. And I may as well get in there and deal some damage with my recital. Get in head position. Well, I was in head position, but it's fine. He did. As I said, reduced health, so it's going to be a quick hunt. He's sleeping. Go away. There's a lot of abdomen movement there for not much expulsion of fluids. But sure. Oh, I didn't even realise the tail had been cut. Apparently, Zombie and Autonomic are using the same weapon, which I didn't notice either. I'm not particularly observant today. Again, we're spending most of the time carving and catching up to the monsters. The hunting portion of the quest is really not time consuming at all. In terms of our other songs, we do have Negate Knockback. I may as well play it. Finale apparently is no longer in effect. But, whatever. Negate Knockback will be our next song. Not that it's going to be helpful, but, you know. I'm here to play my music, aren't I? Now, is there a bonus effect for this? Let's find out. Yep. What it does is it seems to extend the effect. When they say extended, I would assume that that means it lasts for longer. Because if it says immune to knockbacks, immune is immune. So, there's no actual increase to the effectiveness of it. It rather, when encored, boosts the time that it lasts for. So that's fine. Quite alright with that. It's probably time for me to top up attack, is it? Yes, it is. Beta says, now I'm a little motivated! Just screaming about her motivation, which is good. I'm also motivated. Motivated to kill this fucking Ludroth. There you go. That was a very, very cinematic moment right there. Autonomic and Zombie with the same weapon flying through the air, swinging their weapons at the Ludroth as it dies. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Go and collect a shiny. Self-improvement's about to run out, oh my god. That's very interesting. I didn't know about this screen. I guess I haven't been very adventurous. I never checked to see if there are any extra things like this with Hunting Horn, but I don't want to become reliant on it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I suppose it's not a passive effect. I mean, I thought it was a passive effect in the sense that it would extend the effects for as long as it was active. But, I don't know. Whatever. Unless it's supposed to be... Ah. I always assumed that melody effects extended... Oh shit. So it is a finale. It's designed to be used after the songs have been played. Oh shit. See, I thought it was... Let's say for instance, finale would be in effect for 2 minutes. And in that 2-minute period, any song that is played will have an extended period of time for it to be effective, but it seems instead that it's designed to be used with currently active songs, which is a little different to what I thought. So, there you go. Got pinged on Hunsterverse, apparently. Oh, I see. Eclipse is talking about the bot and its lack of working yesterday. working now. Right, so Eclipse is addressing my request to only have the bot display when I'm playing a Monster Hunter game. Obviously, that's something he would want as well. I think anyone would want that. Because I don't... the point is, I wouldn't want my live streams being displayed on Hunsterverse, which is specifically a Monster Hunter Discord, if I were playing games that weren't Monster Hunter. And I don't only play Monster Hunter, so... He says, in regards to you mentioning having the bot only display when playing a Monster Hunter game, I think what I'll do is have it filter them on the embed to display Monster Hunter games first, and then the rest of the users after. That way it's up in front as a priority to other games. Of course, I don't know what the process is to all of this, so that might be the easiest way to do it, which would be fine. That is something of a solution. But I will say that my preference is to not even be visible unless I'm playing a Monster Hunter game. But, you know, I'm not the guy making the bot. That might be an unreasonable request. So, I don't know how it works. Eclipse is in the chat, so there you go. Yeah, do whatever works, do whatever can be done. But, yeah, obviously you have to work with Twitch as well. It's not just about whatever you're designing. It all has to be in line with whatever Twitch allows for. So there you go. As far as our next quest, Autonomic should have the urgent, I'm hoping. If he doesn't, then I'm concerned, because it means we've missed a quest somewhere along the line. But... no, excuse me, I'm wrong. There is one more quest. It is single Raytheon. Sorry. That's my error. The streamer is never wrong. Don't question it. Alright. So, I will find a weapon that I probably haven't used. There you go. Hammer. I haven't used hammer today. And we'll go with Valstrax hammer. I always enjoy an excuse to use a Valstrax weapon. So... G1 star, and I think it's... what's it called? Queen of the Ruined Pinnacle. Why would it be so far back? Where is it? Am I going crazy? Oh, it's in G2. What the fuck is going on? So I'm the one who's confused. He should have the urgent quest. Okay. Sounds good, Eclipse. Now, let me check the key quests again. Oh, I missed one. It couldn't be me. It couldn't be me, but it is. So it is indeed Yankutku. We missed Yankutku. Pecking order. Did he do pecking order? Thank you, Beta. We will do that, but I'm going to change weapons for that, because Dragon's probably not appropriate for Kutku. Couldn't be me. Don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay. And, oh, there you go, someone else can post it. Doesn't have to be me posting it. I might go heavy normal. How about that? That could be fun. Yeah, that's alright, Eclipse. It just doesn't feel right to be advertised in any way on a Monster Hunter server when I'm playing a game that's not Monster Hunter. It just doesn't feel right for me. And I think any person in a moderator's position, or in a position of, I guess, organising Hunsterverse, would also prefer to not have non-Monster Hunter games being advertised, so... Donk Loom. That's a new fucking name. Wow, Donk Loom. That's scary. That's such a departure from my name that I'm almost frightened by it. Stop it! Potato, that's it. You need to stop getting high. Because the last time you got high, you fucking bought an Xbox Series S, which you'd have to be high to get, and now you've bought a $150 fucking controller for your Xbox. You need to get yourself in gear. Like, what the fuck? You're missing I, Beta. There's no I in Donk Loom, so... There you go. Not an anagram. Normal level 2, I regret to say I've not topped up, so... Oh, that's true, yeah, Hunsterverse does support other games, I do forget. I forget because I don't care, personally, but yeah, it does support other games, that's true. But it is, obviously, primarily a Monster Hunter server. Yeah. No, that is true. I hadn't considered that. But for the reason that Hunsterverse does support other games, you can't just blacklist, in some way, all games that are Monster Hunter. And it probably wouldn't be possible to have that be a streamer's preference. It would probably have to be across the board for all users. They would have to have non-Monster Hunter games blacklisted in some way. So, you know what? That's perfectly fine. And, I'm cool with that. I disowned my nephew for liking Rise, says Potato. Some would go further than disowning them, but you've stopped at the appropriate level, Potato. You know, sometimes it's not personal. Sometimes people are just wrong, and it's okay. And they need to learn in life. So, for instance... No, I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, but the point is that, you know, people need to learn. And disowning them will maybe help in that learning process. Oh, how about engaging in the Hunt Doom Link instead of being distracted by the OBS playback? That'd be a good thing, I think. Juvenator quite eloquently says, I would rather suck dick than play Rise. Yeah. I would too, Juvenator, I would too. Yeah, sounds good, Eclipse, and more than anything else, I'm just excited that you're looking to work on the system further. And that's what I love about Hunsterverse. Between you and Zach, especially Zach, the willingness to just keep on evolving what's already been designed is amazing. I mean, even when I first joined Hunsterverse 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago now, everything seemed pretty well organized, but so much has been implemented since then. And it just seems to go on and on forever, and, you know, not many people have an appetite for bettering their creations in the way that Zach does, and it's really a good thing, and that's why I stick around, and that's why I support Hunsterverse. I think even now I'm one of the top supporters of Hunsterverse financially. So, you know, I'm here for a reason. It's because I really love the attitude that goes into Hunsterverse. So, yeah, Zach is awesome. Name one thing you like about Rise. There's something. What was it? I have to think about that. there was something I liked about it. I liked the monsters. I thought the monsters were pretty good. Now, it's sad that there's more to what makes a good Monster Hunter game than the monsters themselves, but in terms of the new monsters that were brought in, there were none, except for the return of Duratodas, that were offensively bad. In fact, I would go so far as to say that they were pretty good, but I was a little bit offended by the fact that they brought back Duratodas. That was enough to make me sick in my... well, on my lap, I guess, you know. When I first found that out, I'm surprised I didn't let loose some protein from my throat. But, yeah. Duratodas made a return, and admittedly, they made him better than he was in World, so that's what's important, I suppose. So, with that, Autonomic should have the urgent quest, which I believe is something I have forgotten. It is... come on. Baroth. For me, Eclipse, it's all about how the online experience has suffered. I'm sure some people play Monster Hunter in different ways, and for example, they might not play online, so it doesn't really make a difference to them if the online experience is basically degraded to the point where it's unsalvageably bad. But for me, the online experience has taken such a hit, not just with the introduction of the SOS system, or more like the fact that the SOS system has been perpetuated from World, but also the fact that Monster sponged so many hits in online and that it turns into something of a tour than a hunt. It's like you're just there and beating on this thing that just doesn't seem to respond to the effectiveness of the team, and it just goes on and on and on. The hunt is just slow and boring, and, you know, all I can say is that I've played a great deal of Monster Hunter games online before, but Rise was the only one that left me physically exhausted. Like, I was just mentally and physically exhausted from hunting online in that game. Whereas in the past, even if I were to have, you know, long-haul grinding sessions of getting through high rank and G rank online, I wouldn't be exhausted because I was having fun. There was no fun to be had in the case of Rise, and for that reason, it felt more like a chore than me playing a game. So once I finished version 1.1 of the game, I was fucking done, and I will not be returning to that game. Would you rather drop the soap or play Rise? I'd play Rise, thank you. I'm not going to be unrealistic about it. I'd definitely rather play Rise than drop the soap. Alright, I will go and top up my normal shots. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are certain things about Rise that people can forgive, but for me, they've just gone past the point where I can forgive them. Everyone has the line that they draw in the sand, figuratively speaking, as far as how much Monster Hunter can change. For me, the line was drawn after 4th gen. It's like, okay, 4th gen, if you go further than this, I'm not going to appreciate it anymore. And, of course, World, in my opinion, went too far, and Rise went even further in the wrong direction, and I just can't do it anymore. So, I'm no longer interested in what is now modern Monster Hunter, which I deem to be pseudo Monster Hunter. It's basically been rebooted for people who are not going to enjoy the older games. You know, the people that World and Rise were designed for would not be able to go back and enjoy the older Monster Hunter games. So I don't think it to be so unusual that I'm left disenfranchised by World and Rise. By extension, 5th gen in general. So, yeah. I also dislike gimmick in Monster Hunter. That's why I don't engage in the style system of this game. I'm using Guild for a reason. It's because that's standard Monster Hunter. That's what I am comfortable with. That's what I enjoy. I always thought the styles were gimmicky. Of course, I mean, you will remember this Eclipse. It was very much... When Double Cross was new, everyone used to say, oh, if you play Double Cross, you'll forget how to play Monster Hunter. The reason why is because you basically have to relearn how to play it. And then you go back to the older games and things that you relied on before. For instance, Brave/Valor style. Once you don't have your Valor counter anymore, it's like, well, fuck, what do I do when I go back to the older games? You basically have to relearn how to play Monster Hunter. And I don't appreciate that, I'm not going to unlearn how to play Monster Hunter just for the benefit of some gimmick in one iteration of the series. Well, technically two. No, it was one in the case of Brave. That wasn't in Generations, so... I don't like gimmicky stuff, and because I don't like gimmicky stuff, I don't like Wirebug. I think Wirebug is dumb, and I think it's ruined the balance of many things, but if there's one thing Capcom doesn't give a shit about, it's balancing their Monster Hunter games. They've basically given up. The fact that Wirebug was even introduced is evidence of that, because, we had... One of the most shocking things for me was realizing that even with World, a game that could be updated at any time, in other words, balanced at any time, Capcom were still well and truly at a loss as to how to balance it. They just didn't know what the fuck to do. They were like, oh, fuck me. They even had the opportunity to rebalance everything with a G-Rank release and still couldn't fucking do it. They made Sticky, which was underpowered, so overpowered that it became the best shot type by a significant margin, to my understanding. And the problem with that is that you can't go too far in one direction. You have to... If you want to make something that's weak not be weak, you don't make it so ridiculously overpowered that it ruins the game. And then there were lots of other issues, but the point is that balancing has never been Capcom's forte, but unfortunately, they've made it abundantly clear that they've given up on balancing, and unfortunately the Wirebug system has thrown balancing out the window to the extent where I can't even engage with the game anymore. And there are a lot of other reasons why I can't even engage as well, but anyway, hello there gaming. Well, that's right, yeah. No game can be balanced properly, but in the Monster Hunter series, but the thing is, you can make attempts to balance it. And I don't think Capcom really try anymore. I think they gave up after World. I think they were so disheartened by their own inability to balance it that they were just like, hey, let's have weapon types like heavy bowgun, which are predicated on limited mobility, just have super easy evasions with Wirebug. Hey, why not? Because it's Wirebug. People will like it because it's so fucking anime, right? That's basically Capcom. So that's fine. For them. And no doubt for lots of hunters, but it's not fine for me, so... You used to have to actually compromise the damage of your armor set for the benefit of higher mobility with heavy bowgun. That's what I'm doing right now. I've got evade extender here instead of a damage skill. So I've technically compromised the damage of my armor set for the benefit of higher mobility with heavy bowgun. That's not necessary in Monster Hunter Rise, and that's not the only example of things being simplified in Monster Hunter Rise, and in 5th generation in general, and that's something that I cannot abide. I do not have any interest in the oversimplification of Monster Hunter, and the processes of skill sets, armor sets, weapon choices, for the benefit of people who wouldn't like to put more effort in. They want something more simple that they can understand. Well, guess what? If they're catered for, then you've lost me as a customer, for the reason that Monster Hunter was designed for a niche community, a niche interest initially. And if you walk away from that, you've abandoned me, so I'm not going to follow you along like some lost dog who is so desperate to enjoy the newest Monster Hunter game that he's going to put up with changes that do not in any way take my preferences into account. That's not to say that I deserve to be catered for, but it is to say that I'm not going to personally put up with changes that are totally different to what I personally need in a Monster Hunter game. So, anyway. And that's right, the line between heavy bowgun and light bowgun has faded almost to the point where they are the same thing. That obviously began in Monster Hunter World, and I didn't even realize this until somewhat recently. The fact that light bowgun and heavy bowgun deal the same damage. How does that make any sense? How could it possibly be that light bowgun, which is a higher mobility weapon type than heavy bowgun, would deal the same damage as the lower mobility gun? It's incredible. But this is the thing. Things that just worked in the past for Capcom, balancing-wise. I mean, this is what shocks me. Things that were in balance were thrown out of balance. So that's the biggest problem for me with modern Monster Hunter. It's the fact that there were always balancing issues, but the things that were previously in balance were thrown out of balance, and so all of a sudden you've got an entire game that is one big imbalanced pile of shit, instead of a game that suffers in certain regards with, or from, imbalancing. And it seems that Capcom has no desire to fix that, because it's not like any of the, well, it's not like most of the people who play the games nowadays really care. They don't seem to know, they don't seem to care, they don't seem to want to educate themselves on the way things once were, so therefore if things go backwards they're not going to know. They're not going to have a clue. They're just going to enjoy the formula for what it is and not question it. And then other people who apparently are perfectly content with things as long as they look cool and feel cool aren't going to question it anyway. Oh, Hunting Horn is so good. Oh, it's very simple, but I don't even, I mean, it's, you swing it around and you deal so much damage, so it's great, it's fun. It's like, well, no, you've basically cut the balls off the fucking weapon type by simplifying it to the point where a retarded child could use it. So you tell me if that's an evolution. My contention is that it's a devolution. So, I don't know. Oh, Frontier had a lot of balancing issues, I think. But, anyway. Sorry if I haven't been able to keep up with the chat, guys. I've been ranting myself and trying to play the game at the same time. So, seems there's been a conversation between A-Gaming and Potato that doesn't necessarily relate to the discussion, which is fine. But, yeah. Good on you, Juvenator. He says, I refuse to play 4 Ultimate on 3DS. Good man. Because the 3DS is not a good system for Monster Hunter. I will not talk about my personal biases against the 3DS. I don't personally like 3DS, okay? I think it's not a system of its era. I think an example of a system of its era would be the PS Vita, which, if anyone has even held in their hands, knows completely shits on the 3DS. But strictly for Monster Hunter, I don't think the 3DS is an appropriate system. And I think any person would have a better experience with 4 Ultimate if they were to allow themselves to not play it on a 3DS. I don't know what the alternative would be for them, because for a lot of people, they just can't run 4 Ultimate emulated on their PCs because of the high PC requirements for emulation, given that it does have variable frame rate, as opposed to Double Cross, which is much easier to run. But still, it's just not worth playing on the 3DS in my opinion. Just not worth it. Awesome. Beta has Capture Guru, so that's going to make this hunt much easier. Might go to Greatsword. Actually, what I'll do is I'll use this Greatsword set so that I can use my other Thunder Greatsword. The Kezu Shock Full. I went to say Kezu Shock Sword, but apparently they've decided to call it Kezu Shock Full for the max upgrade. Whatever. We will go with that. Yep. Small ass screen, controls are awful. I mean, I personally don't like having my Monster Hunter experience confined to this little thing in my hands. It just doesn't feel right. Now, for the Japanese audience, I understand that there is a reason why portable Monster Hunter is a big part of their requirements, big part of their joy, big part of their experience. It's because they play Monster Hunter on the go. It's just how it was. Monster Hunter did best in Japan on the PSP. For a reason. But it's not for me. My Monster Hunter experience is the stationary console Monster Hunter experience, as established by Tribe, which any person who played Tribe will tell you is the ultimate in experiencing Monster Hunter. And no doubt, any person who was able to play Monster Hunter 1 before the server shut down, they will tell you the same thing. The stationary console Monster Hunter experience is superior. It's only a matter of convenience, or you know, what you personally need out of your Monster Hunter experience that will dictate what's better or worse. Like, for example, if you are often commuting, yes, there is a benefit to Monster Hunter on PSP, or even on 3DS, but is it, objectively speaking, an inferior Monster Hunter experience? Yes. I believe that there's no argument there. But anyway. Yeah, we talked about this 2 years ago, Eclipse. It was your stream, actually. We were talking about it, and you and I spent a lot of time in Monster Hunter Tri, about the same amount of time, and although I think you were on the US servers and I was on the European servers, and yeah, I think you and I agreed on every point regarding Tri, and I think we both appreciated a great deal. It's a really, really good game. There were certain issues with it, but the online experience made it just a phenomenal game to play for any person who was fortunate enough to experience the online before the server shut down. There are a lot of issues with Tri. Chiefly the fact that they decided to have the high rank content of the game online only. That was the most short-sighted decision I can imagine Capcom coming out with. I mean, how the fuck did they think that was a good idea? Now, I'm not saying that they were necessarily expecting the GameSpy servers to shut down, but fuck me. Why would you have it be so that probably more than half the game was locked behind the city mode, which could not be accessed unless you were online? It's so stupid. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, I'd say the game was fairly well polished. Although Switch Axe was a bit of a travesty. That's the big thing about Tri, and what most worked against it was the lack of content. But if you had the online, it didn't matter. Absolutely didn't matter. I mean, even to this day, the Monster Hunter game that I've spent the most time in is Monster Hunter Tri, and it is the game with what I believe to have the least amount of content, even up until this point in time, so... I remember world players complaining about lacking content, and I'm thinking, well... You know, you wouldn't be complaining if this game were as good as Tri, because that game had even less content, but you would never complain about having nothing to do, because the online community was just so fun to engage with, that it didn't matter that you'd done everything a million times. It just didn't matter. There was a lot of fun to be had there. So... And I will generally say that it's not appropriate to say that Monster Hunter Tri was the best third-gen game. I don't think so. For a few reasons. But the game that I had most fun playing, not just in third-gen but across the board, was Monster Hunter Tri. You know, there are certain glaring issues in Tri that I can't ignore. We can talk about lacking content, but there was a reason for that, I guess. Everything was done from scratch. All monster models and animations were done from scratch. They were remaking Monster Hunter for the first time. Let's not forget that second generation was using the same assets as first. And, you know, same engine, same everything. But in the case of Tri, that was all being done from scratch, so, you know, it makes sense that it would have lacking content, but decisions such as the decision to, on account of Purple Sharpness being introduced in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, bring Purple Sharpness to a high-ranked game, that ruined the online experience towards the end. You know, anyone who experienced Endgame Tri will tell you that Endgame Tri was basically Devil Joe and Elatrion weapons, irrespective of monster elemental weakness. Didn't matter if the monster was weak to dragon damage, you've got to be joking. You're using a fairly high raw weapon with Purple Sharpness in a high rank game, so that's what you're going to use if you want to deal the most damage. Sorry if you were pinging Beta, I'm a bit focused on talking at the moment, but good capture either way. That's right, so I believe that until World came out, the highest resolution textures to appear in a Monster Hunter game was Monster Hunter Tri. It was, for some reason, even in this game that I'm playing right now, the textures were just lower quality. The resolution was especially apparent if you were to compare Tri to 3 Ultimate. 3 Ultimate being a port of a 3DS game. My favourite weapon type, or my favourite weapon in general, I think was the Epitaph Blade, and in 3 Ultimate it just looks like a pixelated, garbled mess, But in Try, it was very ornate and detailed and really nice. But yeah, that's just how it was. Try's textures were amazing. And part of that has to do with the fact that Try was, before World, the last proper stationary console Monster Hunter game. There was no game that was really designed for a stationary console until World came out, after Try was made. Because 3 Ultimate was just a 3DS game, basically. It was a very half-assed port, it wasn't designed for Wii U. Had 3 Ultimate been designed for Wii U, it would have absolutely blown Try out of the water on every level. But there are certain things that Try still does better because it was designed for the Wii, not for a portable console. So, you know, of course, 3 Ultimate is plagued by all sorts of performance issues because it was not a well-done port at all. At the very least, and I do thank Capcom for this, while they did kind of half-ass the port, at the very least, they allowed us to have the same communication system that Try had, which was free type with a keyboard. You type with a keyboard when plugged into the Wii U. You don't even have to press a button to start typing. As soon as you start typing on that keyboard, you've got a text box coming up that you're typing into. You can cancel that immediately with escape, send it with enter. Very clean, very easy. And there was even online chat with the gamepad through voice. And overall, it was still a good multiplayer experience that was suited to a stationary console, even though it was a bad portable console port at the end of the day. So that was a positive thing. Eclipse, the keyboard that I use for 3 Ultimate, even to this day, is the exact USB keyboard that I bought for Monster Hunter Try all those years ago. And I'll never forget when I mean, anyone who had to do the on-screen keyboard, or had to deal with the on-screen keyboard of Monster Hunter Try will tell you that it was a miserable affair. But when I will never forget, the first time I actually plugged the USB keyboard into Try, I was so fucking talkative, I couldn't stop typing, because it was just... I was free. Finally, I didn't have to use that stupid on-screen keyboard anymore. And it was really fun. I seem to recall typing the whole time during the event quest where you got the shark tickets for the Sharklands. I don't even remember really doing anything in the quest. I might have killed maybe a few fish here and there, or a few sharks here and there. But for the most part, I was just typing the whole time, because it was just so nice to be able to freely type to people online. But in the case of We Speak, which wasn't really something that people had in the European version of the game, or the European community didn't seem to have many people with We Speak, but I can tell you that it was so bad that the first time I heard someone speak with We Speak, like in-game, it just sounded like a fucking aeroplane taking off. It didn't sound like a person's voice at all, it was more like... or something like that. It was not audible in any way. Show the keyboard. It's not very interesting. It's a Logitech keyboard. Oh. I mean, it'll be backwards too, because it's... but this is the keyboard. Like, this is it. This is the keyboard that I use to type to people for about 2,500 hours of Monster Hunter Try. It is the keyboard, and you know, it's held up. I mean, it was fucking cheap. I bought, it was probably like, I don't know, $10, $15 back then. Just got whatever the cheapest USB keyboard was, because I just needed something to talk to people on Try with, and it still is perfectly functional today, so... yeah. It probably isn't Eclipse, because you said that you had a wireless keyboard, right? Mine is wired, so... But yes, you probably should sleep. Sleep is good. What is the quest we're doing again? It is Rust Razor G2. You had the wireless variant? Yeah, mine was very cheap. It's probably similar, but it's a Logitech one, either way. You just threw it away? Well, if there's one thing I can say, wireless technology isn't as, I guess, rugged and reliable as wired technology, so... In the case of my wired USB keyboard, still works just fine. I still use the exact same Classic Controller Pro as well. This is the original that I used. I mean, this thing has... all of the time that I've played in Monster Hunter Tri and 3 Ultimate has been on this exact controller right here. That I got from... this fucking game. Which... hold on. And take off chroma key to get all the colours. This is what I bought back then. This is the Japanese, not the Japanese, the Australian release of Monster Hunter Tri, with the controller included. This is an unopened copy right here, but I bought it 3 years ago for the sake of collecting it. And I will never forget seeing this in stores at the time, because I was like, holy shit. Monster Hunter on the Wii? I'm getting that. But yeah. Alright, catch you later. Eclipse, thanks for sticking around. Okay. What would I like to use for this quest? Because, quite frankly, I think I've done enough greatsword. Let's do hammer, possibly at the expense of my teammates. I might be upswinging you guys, but I'll try not to. Don't think room tour when. It's not much of a room tour. I've got stuff in my room, but an actual room tour would not be something I'd probably do. We want the... I don't know if it's Giga or Geiger. Probably Giga. Vortex hammer. Pretty cool looking hammer though. Well, Paralysis Insect Glaive might be overkill. The thing is, Vernon's paralysis output is so high that I think it would be better to go for damage, just so that you can make use of the paralysis that Vernon has. Unless he's not running... oh, excuse me, Vernon's not even here. So, yeah, you're welcome to do that. But... I see you have the Crimson Fatalis Insect Glaive right now. Thank you for the raid, Gifo. Cavenator managed to kill EX Blundbath. Well, good on him. I guess that's an achievement. Now, whether that was based on his own merits, I couldn't say. Probably to do with the fact that the team was quite well organised for the hunt, but anyway. We will be hunting in this cave system, so I will be drinking a hot drink, obviously. This is a 1 feint, isn't it? I think so. No, it is 2 Rust Razor, so it's not a 1 feint. But I think the 1 feint is in this area, isn't it? In this locale. I can't remember now. The whole team was Pierce Gunner. Well, there you go. The thing was probably dead before it could do anything. It wouldn't have been. That's hyperbole, of course, but... anyway. I'm not too worried about getting KOs necessarily, but could always try. I'm more interested in getting golf swings off, to be honest. Here we go, that's a head opportunity. One thing I don't like about Rust Razor is that he really does just look like a standard Seanator until he extends his claws. I don't really like that about him. Come on! I'm trying to charge up my hammer. Can't do it when you're behaving like that. Okay. Head opportunity. Hammer main? No, not even remotely. I use all weapon types. I'm not really an anything main. If I were to identify myself as a anything main, it would be, I guess, greatsword maybe? But no, I use all weapon types, so... While I do have preferences, I don't have weapon types that I use more than others necessarily. Like, considerably more than others. Get the fuck away. Don't have time for that crap. I am a little bit worried about taking unnecessary hits here, but at least, even with 726 defense, I don't have to worry too much, because it's not like this thing's hyper, but... Sorry, Autonomic, but I guess you can deal some aerial attacks. Poor bastard. There we go, and chase him. Might shift to the side a little bit. Too much in the corner. Uh-oh. That's the aggressive Cyanator hug. He wants to hug, but unfortunately it hurts. A lot. Especially with my defense. It's alright, Beta. Had I known you were trying to break it, I probably would have helped. Hopefully we don't need... Well, we probably do need claws, don't we? I probably should be aiming for the claws, but I don't like doing that with the hammer. I feel a little bit too attracted to the head with a hammer. Oh. Heading north. I'm sure Para-Insect Glaive would be a good idea. Probably wouldn't be as effective as Paralysis Sword and Shield for the reason that they tried to nerf Insect Glaive's mounting capabilities, and they did so rather successfully, I might add. But, still. I think it would be pretty effective. Get down here. Thank you. He heard what I said. Thank you for obliging me. Well, that's very interesting. So that would be an example of lag compensation. Actually dealt KO damage, even though on my screen no KO damage was dealt. Because I technically missed. Or I guess you could say I technically didn't miss, because KO damage was dealt at the end of the day. I don't know if I want to aim for the claws if no one else will, but... Whoops, I was expecting a spin there, so I ended up stupidly rolling directly into the fucking... well, urine. If that's the penis in there, then I guess he's urinating on us. It would make sense, right? I'm not saying it's actually the penis, it's what people call it. But, anyway. I'm not too concerned about the anatomy of a crab. Nor the anatomy of a fictional crab, but... yeah. Drink it all up. No. I think I'll pass on that one. Arexian seems to be well grossed out by that insinuation that it would be urine, and possibly also that that is a penis, but... it's nature, man. Nature's not here to be appealing to you. Nature's nature. Oh my goodness, I'm being flinched by Autonomic. That is P, says Juvenator. Well, Juvenator said so, so... I think we know what the verdict is. There's no questioning of it. I may as well... why am I aiming for the claw now? Of all the fucking times to aim for it. It would be so late into the hunt. How about we don't do that? It's not really going to do any good at all. Yeah, oh, there's another KO. Okay. Is there? No one else here is dealing KO damage, so there you go. He just got KO'd twice before he could get a chance to die. And his genitalia is exposed. There's no real... well, let's not talk about... No, let's actually stop looking at it. How about that? That's a penis, says A Gaming. Well, I don't know, it seems to be one. It's quite phallic, it shoots out liquid, I'd say it's a penis. No, I don't think there's much debate about it. It's a weak point, I mean really, it'd be your weak point too. So the point is that, yeah, it's probably a penis. Why am I mining? I'm a hoarder, I suppose. No, you do need regular Senator Cortex for a longsword. I think you can technically get them here, but it's somewhat low chance. It's not very high chance, and certainly nothing close to the chances that you'd get from a regular Senator. Yeah, oh no, that's Rust Razor. Well, I think it is possible. Yeah, it must be possible, actually. HR 835. Where's Takashi when you need him? Yeah, any discussion of penises is usually enough to summon him. If he weren't here otherwise, he'd bloody well be here if we're mentioning penises. But maybe not crab penises. Maybe he knows that we're talking about crab penises. I think he would be less inclined under those circumstances. There we go. Exchanger and feet. Alright. I'll leave the next quest up to you guys. I'm just going to go to the bathroom. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm back. Alright. So, speaking of back, someone here is back, and that is Vernon. He has taken Beta's place. Beta apparently needs to make dinner. Okay. Sounds good. So, I will use something else. Don't know what. What should I use? Hunting horn. Let's do hunting horn. No, I did hunting horn on a Cianator recently. So, dual blades. I haven't done dual blades this recording. I did a lot of dual blades in the previous recording, however. So it's not like I've been depriving you all of dual blade gameplay. Feeling generally crabby. Right. I've already eaten, and I think it was for exchanger. Yes, it was. Okay. I'm ready to go. Yeah, I don't think Autonomic can help you with that, zombie, I regret to say. This recording is... I mean, this is in the Hunting with Purpose series at the moment. This is designed for us to be helping Autonomic specifically with whatever he needs done. He is just getting through G rank for the first time in this game. So he is the focus today. Oh. I'm trying to get away from that. There you go. Oh. There's something interesting about the experience of hunting a crab in the sense that rather than drawing blood that's red, you're drawing blue blood. It's a bit weird. So that's obviously a unique aspect to the crab hunting experience. Oh, I've only got Bloodwind 2 on this, you've got to be joking! I have Bloodwind 3. I know I do. And yet I still don't have it equipped to this armor set. I think I have it equipped to my blunt dual blades armor set, but not to this one, which is stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Makes no bloody sense. Yep. Alright, so this claw is probably going to be broken very shortly. Maybe not, actually. It's alright. I can live with that. Already down to blue sharpness. Ah, okay. So that is both claws broken now. Excellent. I will Bloodwind here, seeing as though I have an opportunity to do so. Brilliant. This is definitely a lockdown hunt right now. Unfortunately, I'm sitting at green sharpness, so definitely lacking in damage here, but should I try to get a sharpen? No, don't really need to sharpen because the monster's already dead. There you go. Made easier, of course, by the fact that we all spawned relatively close to the monster, so nice and quickly done. Alright. And you know what? I'm in a mining mood today. I'm in a mining mood. Although there are no ancient weapons that I really need. I think I've got ancient for, or worn, weapons for all weapon types. I believe. And you only really need one, unless you're planning on making a fully upgraded worn weapon, which is to say that you make it aged, It becomes aged if you continue upgrading in the worn path, and then that would be used in conjunction with Bludgeoner and Better Affinity, but even then, I'm not sure if it's worth that. I'm not sure if that is worth it, because it's, I don't know. He got a Gravio Scalp that time. Very good. There's Worn Gunlance, I will take it, just for good measure. Because you never know. I should actually check right here, right now, to see if I have worn weapons in all, well, for all weapon types. So that way I will know whether to take them or not, because I'm taking them just in case at the moment, but I'm pretty sure I have worn weapons for all of them. Either unupgraded or fully upgraded. So let's check. So, Greatsword, we have... Okay. But here's the funny thing. I think this Worn Greatsword doesn't need to exist, because I already have the Daora Greatsword, Daora's Deathmaker. And I also have the Aged Greatsword fully upgraded, so this probably doesn't even need to exist, but I'll keep it just in case. You never know. Worn Longsword doesn't seem to be there. Is there a Worn Longsword? I don't know, but I think there is. Maybe there isn't. I've got 2 worn swords here, so I don't need that. 2 worn blades. Probably 3 worn hammers. 3 worn hammers. Well, guess what? I don't need 3 worn hammers, so one of those will be sold, most certainly. 2 worn horns. Oh my god. Going to sell 2 of these worn spears. Don't need those at all. That gun lance. Yeah, look at all these worn gun lances. I'll sell one of those. Keeping 1 to upgrade into something, and then another to maybe fully upgrade into the aged path if I ever wanted it. I mean, it's just in case I want that in the future, which I don't think I would. We'll sell one of these 3. So far, we've got worn weapons for all weapon types except for Longsword, which you never know, could actually not exist at all. Selling these, there you go. Insect Glaive? Nothing worn so far. But there you go. Okay, so I think the general protocol at this point is not to take any worn weapons. So I think we'll do that. I'll probably do one more hunt, guys. I think the 3-hour mark is what I will aim for today. We're almost there. And I think I'll just do one more hunt to take myself over the edge. So... apparently we need another Cortex, so let's go and get that. I'll go with Gunlance this time. Actually, let's go Elemental Gunlance. Because I don't think I'm going to be doing much guarding anyway. Electrolagia Gunlance. There we go. Goody. The quick and easy quest once again. I'm trying to find it. There we are. There's Exchanger. I will have a gourmet voucher, for good measure, just to ensure that I do successfully receive. Exchanger. Very good. Okay. Off we go. Let's go for less than 2 minutes. I'll try. I'll try. I think my damage output will be less with the Gunlance here, but we'll see what we can do. Part of the reason why it was so fast last time was because we all spawned so close to the monster. If I spawn at camp or something, it's probably not going to happen. Vernon has appeared first by the monster, which is bad because he'll be building up paralysis, in spite of the fact that no one is there to take advantage of it. We want to take the northwestern path, Autonomic, but I mean that's not going to be too much longer anyway. You can go that way, you'll get there fairly easily. But I say that because he seemed a little unsure of where to go. Oh no, that'd probably be technically faster where Autonomic went, now that I think about it. Now that I think about it, yeah. I was the one who was misplaced. Silly me. Seems that we got to the area at about the same time. But he has appeared just a little closer to the monster. You're going to stay away from me? Well, that's probably a good idea. Because if I'm going to be dealing good damage here, I'll be doing heavy shelling. So, I'll try not to do it near people, but I can't make any promises. Come on, Seanadol. Get out of there. Trying to shift away from Vernon here. Here we go. Alright, full combo. I think there was a rock door there, trying to jump on through. Sorry, zombie, if I hit you there, yep. At least I didn't gun lance shell Vernon off the monster for a mount. I was watching to see if he was nearby. I wasn't going to shoot if he was nearby, but he got on the monster before I could have possibly hit him, so that wasn't too bad. Alright, once we're in the red, I will Wyvern fire. I'm so sorry if I hit anyone. I'm sorry, zombie, that's twice in a row, and I can only apologise. We're doing very good at the moment. I'm destroying the whole team right now, and I'm sorry. I am genuinely sorry. I'm just gonna Dragon Blast if you don't mind. You would, wouldn't you, you fucking arsehole? And then look, he's... never mind, he didn't go for me, fortunately, but... had he decided to go for me, that would have been the ultimate insult. I'll try to get in position for the penis. Yeah. Very good. I think I shot Vernon away, I'm sorry. I have not been... I'm public enemy number 1 right now. I've been fucking up the whole team. Well, didn't work out this time. I didn't have too much faith in the gun lance, really, but... these heavy shots, unfortunately, have a very wide area of effect for my teammates, and I don't particularly want that for my teammates. I'd like to have a wide area of effect for the monster, but not for my teammates. Bloody hell. I think Autonomic might be heading in the right direction. Oh no, Vernon is in the right. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's fine. Get down here. God, he's very high up, isn't he? A bit higher than the... not Cockatoo Swamp, the... second gen swamp. In those caves, he's not too high up at all, but here, fucking hell. That was very high. Alright. Well, that was a good hunt, and a good recording overall. We sorted out what's happening with the Hunsterverse bot, which is very good. Oh. Was able to chat to Eclipse a little bit, who is behind the Hunsterverse bot. And I now have a good idea of how it's working, which is good. And yeah, at least we got sub 4 for this quest. But yeah, good recording overall. Got a bit of work done for Autonomic. Took him to Hunter rank 10. Finished off his armor set. And we're currently working on his weapon. Which is good. Definitely positive. There we go. Got lots of cortexes there. Just shy of the HRP needed to rank up again. That's alright. We are finishing on, I believe, HR 8:35. Yep. Alright. Well, I do thank you all for playing. It's been a pretty good run. I've got Zombie in for the first time in a little while. And yeah, overall a successful venture. I do thank you all for watching, and I will see you all when I'm next recording something that you'd like to watch of mine in the future. Bye bye for now.